Welcome back to another edition of Sport Fit Hub. And today we're excited to be talking with another fine trainer from Propel Performance Institute, as we like to introduce him because, again, Propel is bringing you some live workouts over the course of the weeks. And we hope everyone can jump on board for those. And we want you to have a chance to meet the trainers and get excited about what information is coming to you. So, I work with Karl at Propel. He does personal training, he does group training, and I guess when he does specialty courses, it's learn to lift. I'm guessing his forte is the heavy iron, and he enjoys that. Has a lot of knowledge about that. Unfortunately, now when it comes to home workouts, I don't know how much there can be of that heavy lifting. It would be a lot of soup cans and Javex bottles to equate to a reasonable deadlift, but we'll make Karl get creative with some other versions of home workouts, and he's got some other specialties up his sleeve as well. So just to let Karl get started here, Karl, why don't you just give a little bit of a background of yourself?
Oh, all right. I wore the hat for old time's sake. This is for you, Kevin.
By the looks of the screen here, I should have put one on too. When you work at home, you don't realize or think about what you look like until you turn on Zoom.
It's frightening. So background, I've been training people for about 10 years. I'm from Ontario originally. We moved to Alberta, me and my wife, about 6 years ago. 6 or 7, I can't remember now. And I started at Propel about two and a half years ago, I think now. So yeah, Kevin's right. I like lifting. That's always been what I've been interested in. What would I say? But over the years, as you get older, just lifting is not as productive as it used to be for me. So I also started getting into mobility stuff and getting into how that affects performance and more movement than lifting. Lifting's still my main interest, but yeah, it's a bit more rounded now, well-rounded.
Yeah, I think education and research and professional athletes too are all realizing that the combination of both is necessary. Even before you get old, it just seems to become more apparent once you get old.
Yeah, we never seem to notice it until everyone tells us. Everyone told me, and I just figured it wouldn't happen to me.
You get a lot of warnings, but it's always more fun. Always more fun lifting the big weights. It's hard to sometimes dedicate the time to the things that don't show, I guess, maybe the same kind of more immediate results, but you feel it down the road, let me tell you.
Yes, you do.
Besides the heavy lifting and such, are there other sports, activities type stuff that you like to fill your spare time with?
Well, right now, I guess we're not allowed to play any sports, but I grew up playing basketball. I'm really into football, but I wouldn't play that now in any capacity. I'm not nearly as brave as Tasha there, or Kenya, sorry. What other sports? So those are the main two sports I'm into, but I'm really into nerdy things like comic books and stuff like that.
So in terms of hobbies, what kind of stuff does that include besides the comic books?
Video games. What are my other hobbies?
That works well for right now.
Yeah, well, it turns out you do get bored of that. It's great for a week. But yeah, I'm as much into nerdy things as I am into jock things.
Well, it creates a nice balance.
I can move between both worlds well, yes.
So you mentioned how you kind of got into this 10 years ago. Is there something that sort of steered you in this direction, or something the only thing you knew or wanted to know, or were there events that got you into this?
Yeah. when I hit like that awkward teenage years, that like 13, 14, I
Yeah.
gained a bunch of weight because I stopped playing basketball and I don't know, whatever teenagers do. And so after a few years of kind of being a bit overweight, I wanted to get in shape, and I didn't really know how to do that. And back then, you had to read magazines because it wasn't even like there was internet, obviously, but there was nothing really. It's not like now. Um, so, and I don't think I've ever told you this, but I actually used to go running every single morning, which I still find remarkable.
Yeah.
This was at like
So
age
would everybody else
17.
at Propel, I think.
At age 17, yes, I used to wake up at 6 before school, and I went running every single morning
And
until
that was motivated by the weight gain and such.
yes,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be like Rocky. That was
Well,
my
that's a good goal.
But anyway, so I ended up losing like a lot of weight. It was like I think it ended up being like 40 pounds. Um, and after that, I started going to the gym with a friend, and I really liked it. And it kind of just went from there.
So now, as you mentioned getting into the mobility stuff. I guess it seems, well, I don't want to downplay it, but heavy lifting is straightforward in the simplest description. You're interested in mobility and research and such. Where is that taking you, and what changes have you made because of what you've learned about the importance of it? And
Um,
maybe us older folk out here can relate even more to this story and the importance of it, and how it's actually helped alleviate some of the things that were coming about because we weren't doing it.
yeah. So when I started lifting, if I did a warm up, I did not do a warm. You walk in and you put your arm across your shoulder like this. You give
Yeah,
one of these a couple times, or you do a couple sets of a weight at a lower, whatever exercise at a lower weight, and that's your warm up.
that's my garage
And
warm up right now. What's wrong with that?
oh, well, it's fine, I guess. It works. Um, but yeah, so I never stretched at all for I don't know how long, and it wasn't until it was in college. I don't know what we were doing, but I think I was goofing off, and I was climbing on a pair of monkey bars while someone was doing something, and my shoulder just went. There was a distinctive pop, and I remember being like, "Okay, it's not getting better. It's feeling worse." And that was the start of my shoulder issues, and so I had to go to rehab and everything for that, or physio for that. Sorry, that was like that was a long time. That was like a 4 month process, and so I didn't really like being hurt. And then, of course, um, I still continued lifting and things without the greatest of guidance or form. And so injuries started to add up a little bit. And at some point, I don't know when I started looking for um, other ways. I think it was around the time when Kelly's Tourette came out, and I tried something of his, and I thought, and it was like, oh my god, that feels better right away.
Yeah.
And I went because I don't know if you remember a lot of times like when the original like when everyone started foam rolling and they were like those blue ones that were super soft.
Yeah.
Like I did them because I thought you were supposed to, but honestly, I never really felt like they worked that well. It was just kind of like, okay, this is what everyone does now.
Yeah.
But when Kelly Starrett stuff came out originally, when he started the immobility wad stuff, that was when it's like, oh, I can really feel the difference right away. And the way he organized it spoke to me too, and it wasn't just like I think you can tell someone that this stuff is going to prevent injury and this and that till you're blue in the face. And most people like they care. Obviously they care, but you don't care until something bad happens.
Right.
It's like anything, right?
Yeah.
It's like you should have savings in the bank, but you don't really care until you lose your job.
Right.
Then you wish you had. Yeah. So
Good comparison for right now.
yeah. You found out you didn't need that new TV. Um, but it was more of the way that it was organized for like, and if say, yeah, if you have a restriction, a mobility restriction, you like your hip flexors are really tight. Most people aren't going to be able to run as fast or squat as heavy or perform well if you have an inhibition. And it was more of that. I always like his analogy of like there's a kink in the garden hose, and you might have the power or the performance or whatever, but you can't display it.
Mm-hmm.
And that spoke to me more. And I always find that's an easier sell to people than injury prevention, even though it does that too.
Right. Yeah. To talk performance is more of a, a direct outcome.
Yeah.
Although, we know that preventing injury will improve performance because you'll be able to train better and longer. But yeah, to put it your way, I think would be a much better sell, because people want to hear how, it will directly impact their, performance, bench press,
Yeah.
squat, anything.
And I think we have this, like, as human beings, it's not just with this, it's with everything, but we think, like, yeah, Kevin gets injured, but I won't.
Right.
I'll be fine.
Yeah, always the other
For
person.
some reason.
Until it happens.
Until it happens. It's a hard lesson you learn, that you're not different than everyone else.
Yeah. So on looking forward to Tuesday, I think we're going to try and get it off before people sort of get into their homework days. And you're just putting the pieces together now, I think. So are they to look forward to being able to, I guess, experience both your specialties? I know no one's doing heavy lifting, but a workout component combined with some maybe a more, I guess, detailed instructional routine of some great mobility work.
Yeah, hopefully that's the goal anyway. Is just to do some kind of home workout with minimal equipment, even though I still have a hard time relating because I still have all my stuff, which is worth its weight in gold now.
Yeah. I think with mobility routines as well, it's very easily, I know in exercise and with anything, there's the requirement to change a stimulus in some way as you progress your training. Mobility might lend itself a little bit more to learning a little bit of a shorter routine from you, dial in a few problematic areas. And I think we're so far gone in some of our issues that someone could really just stick with that routine on a regular basis daily and get a lot out of it without having to worry about, a new routine or a new mobility routine, new workout or a new stretching routine type thing every day. It doesn't have to change in the same way that possibly exercise prescription would.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I say, like, there's definitely, like, you would have different, you being, just using you as an example, being like an endurance more focused, will have probably different issues than me.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's probably things that would optimally be better for each of us, but, like, I would guarantee both of us would benefit from doing a couch stretch,
right,
for hip flexors.
Yeah, and I think probably now more so with people a little more around the house, working at their desk at home, and maybe not getting up and around, even just the moving to and from work and things like that. Anything hip related, upper back, shoulder related, in terms of posture, probably would apply to 99% of the people that are spending more time at home now.
Well, the good news is that I have all the same issues right now, so same as everyone else. So I know what.
So you can relate.
And we'll try to make it minimal equipment. I don't know. Hopefully, we might sneak a foam roller or something in there. I don't know if people. I assume most people have them that watch this.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have gone, have taken the extra step now. They realize this is going to be a little bit of a long haul. They've taken the extra step to try and supplement their home training a little bit, whether it be, bands, rollers, and things like that. So, and there's usually, maybe not so much with rolling, but there's ways to, regress and progress things that you're going to show in terms of weights and no weights, and even the mobility work and rolling. Like, you might not have a foam roller, but you can create the same impact on, say, your quad by just, I mean, it might be hard on your thumbs, but just, working the muscle the same way, but utilizing your thumbs and hands or forearm and such. So there's ways to create or achieve the same outcome, I guess, with a little bit of creativity.
There's always, like, I've heard a rolling pin.
Oh
I've
yeah.
heard I've heard wine bottle, but I don't know if I don't have any wine bottles around, but I don't know if I would use one of those. It
Yeah, I'd
seems,
be worried about it breaking and
yeah, that's what I always thought
spilling the
too.
wine.
Yes, you obviously want to get a full bottle of wine.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave it at that then. Just wanted to make sure everyone got to know what was coming up and what to look forward to, and maybe even an opportunity to send some questions or requests our way prior to next week's workouts. We'll have Karl on Tuesday, and then we'll have Dom back on Thursday. So, for those of you who have experienced that one already, it'll be much of the same flavor, little different creativity to it, but still the home version with lots of different levels and high energy. So we're looking forward to both sessions next week. And thanks very much, Karl, for providing a little insight and letting people know what's to come next week.
Thanks for letting me talk with you here.
Good seeing you and catching up.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Thanks, Karl.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.